Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aliyah. Thank you so much for stopping by if you are seeing my video for the first time, and to all my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. So I made this basic skirt with a waistband and a back slit like you can see. So if you want to learn how to make this, stay tuned and keep watching. So these are the skirt patterns I'll be using for this video right here. In my previous post, I showed how to draft this skirt pattern with a waistband. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure to check it out before we go ahead to cut it out on our fabrics. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'll be separating the band from our skirts. So I'm just going to take out the front band here. Then when I'm done, I'll just go ahead and close the dart here. So make sure that when you're closing the dart, one side of the dart goes to meet the other side like so. And we'll just go ahead and tape it down. So our band becomes one piece. So I've gone ahead to cut out my skirts. So that's both my front and back right here. And then also went ahead to cut out the band right here. So with the front band, I went ahead to fold the fabric into two. So here's unfold like this. So just place your pattern on it and then cut two out of it. So this is two pieces right here, as you can see. And for the back, I went ahead to cut 4 pieces, but the back will not be unfold since I'm going to be adding a zipper at this point here. I also went ahead to cut out my front and back skirts right here. I went ahead to trace and notch the darts right here. So when I take it out, I'll be able to sew the darts on both fabric and lining. So you cut the back 4, 2 of the main fabric and then 2 of the lining like I've done. And for the front, we'll be cutting the side to unfold right here. So here's unfold. So you make sure you cut 1 piece of the lining and then 1 piece of the fabric like so. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to take out my front and back skirts and then go ahead and sew my dart. That's my dart around here. So I'm just going to fold my dart like so. So this is the reason why I notched it, so that I'll know where my dart starts and also where my dart ends. So I went ahead to use my tracing wheel. This is a tracing wheel right here. I just use it to trace it on the pattern paper like so that it will appear on both my lining and then my fabric right here. But if you don't have a tracing wheel, just go ahead and just notch it and then measure the length of your dart and go ahead and stitch it. So I'm done sewing all the darts for both my front and back pieces. So the next thing I'm going to be working on is the hem right here. So I went ahead to reduce the lining by 1/2 inch for the hem here, so that when I sew this part, when I take it down a bit and then sew this part, when I turn it all the way to the wrong side, part of the main fabric also goes inside. So just go ahead, place them right side on right side like so, and then stitch your hem here, but make sure that you reduce the lining here by 1/2 inch. So after reducing the lining, just go ahead and blend it into the main fabric like so, pin it down and then stitch it. So I went ahead to do that same thing for both back pieces right here. So just go ahead and stitch your allowance here. I added 1/2 inch allowance for my bottom part here. So that's exactly what I'm going to sew on both front and back pieces. So after sewing the hem, we're just going to turn it all the way to the right side. And then make sure that the top of the lining meets the top of your main fabric. And then we're just going to press it down. So this is how our hem will look like. So now it's time for joining our front and back sides together. So we're just going to place our front on the right side like so, and then place one side of the back skirt to one side of the front skirt. So just place it like this. Make sure that the hem part meets here. So we're going to start pinning from here all the way to the waist line here, and then we'll do that same thing for the other side. So make sure when you're pinning the sides, the two fabrics in here meet this side here, because sometimes the lining can be a bit bigger than the fabric. So make sure that you check the inside while you're pinning. So I'm done pinning. This is how it's looking like. So you're going to make sure that when you're pinning, you start from the bottom part here, so that you know that when you're going to sew it, it's these two sides here meet. So it's very important for you to meet. If not, if you start pinning from here, this bottom part might shift. So make sure you start pinning from this point here. So I'm just going to do that with the other side too. So I'm done pinning the other side right here. So at the size of the skirt, I added 2 inches allowance here. So that's exactly what I'm going to be sewing from here. So whatever you've added here, just go ahead and then sew that same thing here, and do that for the other side too. So this is it right here. I've gone ahead to sew the sides of my skirt like this. So like I said, I marked my 2 inches and then I sewed the sides here. So we're going to be working on the band right now. So I just went ahead to notch the back here so that it indicates where the top is, and then I also went ahead to notch the zipper side here. Okay, so I did that same thing to the front too. So we're just going to be taking it out. We're just gonna go ahead to press our medium stiff or gum stay to our band. So I'll be pressing it on all the bands right here. So these are my 2 band pieces right here for the front, and then my 4 band pieces right here for the back. So what we're going to do is we are going to be taking one of the fronts like this, and then we're going to take 2 of our backs and place it on the side like so. So just place one side here and then place the other side right here. So we're going to be doing that for the other side too. You place one at the side and then place the other one at the other side. So that's the side and side. So I'm just going to go ahead and then pin it down, pin all the sides down here, and then sew our 2-inch allowance on all 4 sides right here. So I've gone ahead to join my sides of the band right here. So I'm just going to be reducing my side here a bit because the 2-inch, it's a bit bigger, so you can go ahead and then trim it up to 1 inch. But if you also want to leave it like that, you can leave it like that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be placing the right sides of the bands together like so, and then pin the seams to meet first. So I'm going to be pinning this side, make sure that it meets right here. And then we'll go ahead and pin the other side too. So you just open the seams like this. So I'm done pinning it. This is how it's looking like. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pin the top of our band here. So I'm done pinning it. I'm just gonna stitch 1/2 inch from here all the way to the other end. So after I was done stitching the top part of my band, I just went ahead to reduce it a bit so that when I turn it to the right side, it doesn't become bulky. So just trim it down a bit and then turn it to the right side and press it. So after we're done ironing our band, this is how it's going to look like. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll be joining it to my skirt. So before we do that, just go ahead and trim off this part showing. Trim that side off and then do that for the other side too. So this is our skirt waist right here. So I'm just going to be joining one side of our band to the skirt. So make sure that when there's excess lining showing like this, we're just going to trim that top part away. So take a band like this, open it up and then place one side on the skirt. So we're going to be pinning the sides first before blending it in. So just open the sides of your skirt like this and then pin the seams together make sure that it matches the other side too, and I'm going to do that for the other side. Okay, so after pinning the sides, we're just going to blend the rest in. So just blend the band in with the skirt and then pin it down. So this is the band right here. I've pinned it down, so I'm just going to be stitching my 1/2 inch allowance again from here all the way to this point. So I've gone ahead to join my band to my skirt, and after I was done joining it, I went ahead to press that side to lay down a bit. So the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the other side of the band like so, and then fold in your 1/2 inch on the seam you stitched. So make sure that this seam goes inside, this seam right here. Make sure it goes inside so that this other side of the band will hide it in. So you take a band like this, fold it by 1/2 inch, and then place it on the seam like this. So make sure when you're pinning it down, you don't see the seam right here. So it's just going to cover it a bit like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and then pin it all the way. So after pinning it down, this is how it looks like. So just make sure that when you are pinning it down, the seams don't show, like I said. So I'm just gonna go ahead to stitch about a 1/4 inch at this point here. So just stitch a 1/4 on it, so it will show at the other side too. So you will be stitching a 1/4 inch from this zipper side all the way to the other zipper end right here. So I'm done stitching the band. This is how it's looking like at both sides, so it will show here too. So I went ahead to stitch a 1/4 like I said. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be working on the back side of my skirt. So I'm just going to be pinning down my back side. Then after that, I'm just going to be marking where I want my zipper to stop. So I'll be using the zipper right here. I wanted to get a hot pink zipper for this skirt, but I didn't have a color on me. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'll just be using this color like that. Okay, so just place your zipper from the band part here, and then mark where you want it to stop. So I want it to stop somewhere here. So I'm just going to be marking this point here. So from this point, I'm going to be marking my 1 inch from here all the way to the hem. So since the skirt is a bit fitted, we're going to be having a slit at the back here. So I'm going to be measuring this, my slit of about 7 inches from the hem here. If you want yours to go higher, you can add maybe plus 2 inches or 3 inches, depending on how you want that side to be open. So this is my 7 inch right here. So after marking the 7 inch, just go ahead and mark your 1 inch downward. I added 1 inch zipper allowance to mine. So whatever you added to yours, just go ahead and mark it. So I'm marking it all the way to the down because it's a way I finish my slit here. So now what I'm going to do is I'll be stitching from this point I marked here, this zipper point here. I'll be stitching my 1 inch all the way to here. When I get here, I'll back stitch it so many times before I continue all the way to the hem part. So when we are done, we are going to be pressing it. I'll show you how to finish the slit here. Then we'll go ahead and unpick it all the way to this point. So I'm done stitching the back side. This is how it's going to look like. So I back stitch at this point here so that when I fix my zipper, that side will not open up. I also went ahead to back stitch this part right here too, and then I did it all the way to the end. So we're just going to be fixing our zipper right now. So in my next tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to fix a jacket zipper on a dress. So I'll be teaching you the invisible way to install this zipper right here. So when I say the invisible way, this side here will not be showing. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you get notified when I post the video. So I'm done stitching my zipper right here. So the last one I'm going to work on is the slit at the bottom part here. So we're just going to be turning that side to the wrong side. So what we're going to do is we're going to be pressing the side down. Just open it and press it down. Okay, so in order for me to finish my slit right here, I always go ahead to serge this both sides right here because it's very important in the technique I'm about to show you guys. But if you don't have a serger, you can just go ahead and fold this side in twice. So fold it in once and then fold it on the dress like so. And you just go ahead, use your needle and thread to hem from this point all the way to where your slit ends. Okay. Also make sure that when you're using the needle and thread method, when you're sewing the side, make sure it doesn't show at this side here, at the right side here. So for me, after I'm done opening the slit right here, I'll just go ahead and use this fusible gum. Then I'll place it right here. Now I'll just go ahead and press it at this side and then at the other side too. So I'm just gonna go ahead to unpick the stitches from here to where I marked my slit. So this is it right here. So when you're done, just take out the threads that are showing right here. Okay, so now it's time for us to add our gum. So just open it, place it inside, measure the point where you want it to stop and just cut it from that point. So if you're going to press that side, don't just put the iron on it like that. Go ahead and put a piece of cloth over it before you press that side. If not, the gum will end up sticking on the iron, which we don't want. Okay, so we're done with this side right here. I'm just gonna go ahead to do that with the other side. And our skirt is ready. So this is how that side is going to look like. So neat and nice when you're done adding the fusible gum to that part. Okay, so we've come to the end of the tutorial. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel for more contents like this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.